Good morning, Emerson. Today is Thursday, September 2nd. On today's show, Justine Prostad will be finding out why the Princeton Review named Emerson the #1 most LGBT-friendly school in the nation.
Also, G&E News correspondent Cassidy Bretler will be telling us all about Apple's keynote address and the unveiling of the new iPod. Hey guys, I'm Irina Zofchek.
And I'm Terry Stackhouse. Thanks for tuning in to GME this morning.
Yeah.
So, Irina, you and I like to think that we are well-read, that we come on air prepared.
Yep, especially Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair, we both read it. So recently, Vanity Fair, they published a list of their top 100 media figures, and there were a few names on the list that really jumped out at us.
Yeah, actually the #1 on the list was Mark Zuckerberg, and he is the co-founder of Facebook, and which, hey, you know, we're in college, we all use Facebook. It's a huge social networking thing, and, you know, it's coming out of the movie The Social Network, but I really didn't expect him to be #1. I thought it was going to be Steve Jobs.
Well, he's certainly not a household name, and Steve Jobs is actually #2 on that list, but Facebook is reaching an all-new level of prominence.
No.
If you want to have some kind of public presence, if you're a person, if you're an organization, you are on Facebook.
My cat has a Facebook.
Your cat has a Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm probably
Zeus
allergic to your cat's
Zofcat.
Facebook.
Oh.
I'm allergic to everything cats related. So
perfect.
also on that list, ranked number 34, a little bit higher than I would have expected for this one, Miss Oprah Winfrey. You seem to think that she's losing a bit of her touch.
I do. I think that since her show is ending next year, everybody's kind of, you know, it's like losing your best friend, kind of. So many people look to Oprah, and then she's like, oh, you know, I'm going to go now. I'll see you later. And, you know, now I might as well watch Ellen.
Yeah. Well, Ellen DeGeneres, I was really surprised that she is not on that list at all. In a lot of different markets, she's beating Oprah's ratings in daytime television, and she's got a strong following in the LGBT community, and we're going to be talking about that just a little bit later on. But right now, it's time to toss it over to Cassidy Bretler with today's news. Cassidy?
Good morning, Emerson. Cassidy Bretler here with the news you need before your morning coffee. Defense Secretary Robert Gates and Vice President Joe Biden were in Baghdad yesterday to formally mark the transfer of command to the Iraqi government and the end of the U.S. combat mission in Iraq. The ceremony took place in one of Saddam Hussein's former palaces. At the ceremony, Vice President Biden announced the new operation in Iraq, which is seen as the last phase of a war that began 7 years ago.
Operation Iraqi Freedom is over. But American engagement with Iraq will continue with the mission that begins today, Operation New Dawn.
General Ray Odierno transferred his command of the 50,000 U.S. service members still in Iraq to Army General Lloyd Austin. Odierno said Americans kept our promise to secure the country and to allow Iraqis to move forward on their own. Vice President Biden mirrored these remarks and said the goal of Operation New Dawn is an Iraq that is physically stable, economically prosperous, and stable. The deadline for a full withdrawal of U.S. troops is the end of 2011. What started as just a regular day of work turned into a hostage situation at the Discovery Channel's headquarters in Maryland yesterday. A gunman identified as 43-year-old James J. Lee took 3 hostages inside the building and kept them there for several hours. At about 1 p.m., Lee entered the building with canisters strapped to his body, waving a handgun. Police tried to negotiate with him for almost 4 hours, but they had to shoot and kill him after seeing him point a gun at one of the hostages. At least one explosive device on his body went off when he was shot. All 3 hostages were released unharmed. Lee had a history of protesting the Discovery Channel, saying the network needs to take shows that encourage the birth of more humans off the air. He was arrested and convicted for disorderly conduct in 2008. Steve Jobs made yet another keynote speech for Apple yesterday, but this time it was less top secret and exclusive. The event was streamed live online through Apple's website, making it viewable by anyone with internet. Right now, you're looking at many of the gadgets that were announced at the keynote, including a new iPod Shuffle, a Nano and Touch, and a new streaming-only Apple TV. The Shuffle is getting smaller, the Nano is going touchscreen, you can see it right there, and the new iPod Touch has HD video and FaceTime, the video chat that debuted by the iPhone 4. A less exciting part of the keynote was the announcement of Ping, Apple's new social network for iTunes 10, which is essentially a mix between Facebook and Twitter about music. One thing not being renewed for Apple this time, the iPod Classic. It will still be for sale, but it won't be upgraded anytime soon. Those are the big headlines this morning. Back to you, Terry and Irina.
Well, it looks like I need a new iPod now. Thanks, Steve Jobs. But thanks, Cassidy. And now it's time to take it outside with our awesome weatherman, Mr. Matt, the Human Storm Sadler. Matt, take it away.
Good morning, Irina and Mr. Rogers. Well, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? It is sunny out already, and it's going to continue to be sunny throughout the day. Again, highs are going to be in the 90s, just like it was yesterday and the day before that. No chance of rain whatsoever, a little bit of wind, but ultimately just a gorgeous day out here on the Public Garden, which is right across the street from the Boston Common. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast, and you'll notice there is some rain in our future tomorrow. We're going to get those showers, but that is nothing compared to what is going to happen south of us all the way up the East Coast. Hurricane Earl is going to hit, and it's going to hit hard. There are hurricane watches down on the Cape, but we are going to get pretty much none of that, as we're just going to have one day of rain, and that's about it. And by Saturday, some showers in the morning, about 50% chance of rain, but then as we get through Saturday, it's going to be sunny again, and all throughout the weekend and into next week, we're going to have some sun. So really minimal effect from Hurricane Earl, unlike our unfortunate neighbors to the south. So ultimately, looks like another beautiful week here at Emerson College's campus. I just want to say before I go, I saw The Date Doctor last night. Very good show. I think I found my Greg Barude, the sports guy. Your puns. Oh, I just love the puns. I love the puns, Greg. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. I'm glad you found your Well, right now it's time for our first commercial break, but when we come back, Justine Frostad will be talking to Emerson students and faculty about what makes Emerson the #1 most LGBT-friendly school named by the Princeton Review.
Stay locked right here on the Emerson channel.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson.
You know, Irina, before the break, we were talking about Vanity Fair's top 100 media figures ranking that was published earlier this week. And somebody that I was surprised not to see on that list was Ellen DeGeneres, who is quickly becoming the queen of daytime television. I mentioned that she's beating Oprah in ratings in a lot of different markets. And it was surprising for me to see somebody who has risen to such a level of cultural prominence, a member of the LGBT community. I think it's a sign of the times that she has received that level of support and that level of popularity.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to talk about that today, especially because all week we've been going through these Princeton Review rankings that Emerson has received. I mean, #3 in radio, #2 in theater, and now #1 in most LGBT friendly. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, LGBT is lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered. But I don't think that this comes as a surprise to any Emerson students. I mean, we are known as being extremely accepting, and we all come together to this one place because we all have this passion for, you know, one thing. And what do you think about this?
Well, it's certainly not surprising, but it's nice to get credit for our efforts. And I think Emerson really goes out of their way to promote acceptance, to promote diversity. We have gender-neutral housing. We have leaders from the LGBT community that encourage, you know, active participation in that area. And the one common denominator with the Emerson student body is just a passion and love for what they do. And beyond that, beyond superficial titles like, you know, sexual orientation, sometimes it doesn't matter. It's who you are.
And we are right here in Boston, which of course is a very socially liberal area. And I think that definitely helps as well in kind of bringing people together. I mean, we come from so many different backgrounds. You never know who you're going to meet here, but you do know what you're getting into when you come to Emerson. And I think that is what makes it such a fantastic school.
It's a student body that celebrates diversity, that wants to see everybody working together. But with more on the Emerson College student body, Justine Frostad spoke with Emerson students and faculty about the ranking. Justine?
Emerson faculty and students have been working long and hard to expand the resources and opportunities for LGBT students on campus. The most recent Princeton Review ranked the college #1 in LGBT friendliness, proving these efforts have paid off. I spoke with staff and students about what it's like to be LGBT on campus and what new programs are in the works for this year.
I think we rank #1 because I think GLBTQ issues and concerns and just advocacy is in the fabric of Emerson.
I think part of it has to do with the fact that we are a school for communication and the arts.
I think the ranking that the Princeton Review gave us is really exciting, actually, because I am a part of the LGBTQ community, and so it makes, last year I was pretty comfortable here, but it just kind of makes you feel even more comfortable in a place such as Emerson. Nothing wrong with it, it's just amazing.
Pretty much every resource here is supportive of gay students. We have the faculty and administration who are really open-minded, really willing to reach out to you and give you help when you need it.
It's interesting. I think Emerson is a wonderful school to be, that allows me to be the whole person that I am.
We have so many people that are open and honest with who they are, and there's multiple organizations they can join to kind of help them find out, you know, be more comfortable with who they are.
My position in student life is a resource. I have a pretty good connection in the Boston community with different organizations. I'm also one of the organizers for Queer Women of College Boston. So I come across a lot of different people, groups, and organizations, and things like that, things that I use to bring to Emerson.
There's a great organization on campus recognized by the Student Government Association called EAGLE, and that stands for Emerson Alliance for Gays, Lesbians, and Everyone, and that's exactly what it means. It's an organization that anyone can be involved in regardless of your sexual orientation.
I've never felt worried, but I found that everyone here is really accepting. Not only accepting, but they also are happy that you're gay. They're gay that you're gay.
Everyone treats me not how I look, not because of anything, but because of who I am. And that's the most important thing.
Thanks, Justine.
Now it's time to toss it over to sports with Greg Brood, who's talking about the hottest ticket in baseball, the Red Sox and the Orioles, late in the season. Does it get any better than that, Greg?